I'm at the 1989 Arcade Bar in Newtown today for the 2023 Retro Video Game Market. It's located at 22 King Street, Newtown, New South Wales, Australia, and they host this event every year. So let's have a look what's here this time. And there's some PlayStation, Dreamcast, Xbox. Here's an N64 fishing rod. There's some big box PC games at the stall at the front by the Australian Computer Museum.
What you can do now, is you can actually get the cassette audio downloaded, and then you can play it on your phone in the computers. That's how it actually works.
There's a Dick Smith Wizard console here for show, which is part of Australian computer history from back when Dick Smith did things like this. Most of the games here, of course, are PAL Australian games, but there's quite a lot of Japanese games here, which I guess makes sense since we're quite close to Japan geographically. So while the crowd continues to gather down here, let's go see what's upstairs.
Get the people I'm looking out for. I just come to these because it's pretty cool to see what people.
I'll get this one.
Don't know.
I keep forgetting King. You see these sort of look.
What are you looking for? What are you buying for? What are your consoles?
It's been a long time.
That's okay. That's why we're here.
It's Simon's Quest.
Stuff like that.
Simon's over there.
I'm hoping at some point.
And then there were some arcade games to play. 1989 has a whole bunch of original arcade games that were set to free play during the retro video game market.
I'm very busy at the moment.
Try and shoot the things. Don't shoot the ladies. Shoot the bad people. With the little button down there.
Okay, I'm back home and I only bought 2 games this year. It wasn't a big haul for this retro video game market. I bought 2 games and I guess they were on the topic of war. That wasn't my intention, but that's just the way it turned out from what I saw. I bought Cannon Fodder for the Super Nintendo and it's in the box. It was cheap for a game in a box. And Cannon Fodder it's a good game. I remember borrowing this from the video shops when you would borrow videos and games from the video shops when I was a kid, when that was a thing. And yeah, so it's in the box. It's the PAL version, it'll work on my Super Nintendo, and it came with the manual that's all really in good condition. Sometimes retro game gear games that you get are not in great condition, unless they're from Japan. Usually the Japanese tend to take better care of their retro games than us Westerners. I don't know why that is, but this is in good condition. So it's a strategy shooting game, I suppose, that was originally for the Amiga by Sensible Software, a British company, and then it was ported to the PC for DOS, and then to consoles such as the Jaguar and the Mega Drive and Super Nintendo. I want to say I've played the DOS version. I'm sure I have before this, before I even played the Super Nintendo version, but I can't find it in my box of PC magazines cover discs from the 90s with shareware on them. There's a lot here. I looked through it, can't find it. So I don't know where I played it. Maybe I downloaded it on the early internet. No idea, but I definitely have played it. But I've definitely played it because it had the theme song, which I remember, which is not on this Super Nintendo version, because I guess Nintendo wanted to maintain their family-friendly image.
Never been so much fun. Go up to your brother, kill him with your gun, leave him lying in his uniform, dying in the sun.
But Nintendo did allow this game to be published at the time on the Super Nintendo, and it is a little bit of a gory game in a cartoony way. and it did cause controversy in its time for its use of the red poppy, which is a symbol of remembrance for veterans. So the tabloid media fueled outrage at the time over this, and then the Royal British Legion jumped aboard, which I think on the PC or Amiga versions led to them putting a notification that this game wasn't associated with the British Royal Legion. Royal British Legion spokesman Dennis York said, "This will offend millions at a time when they remember loved ones who gave their lives in war." Liberal Democrat MP Menzies Campbell stormed, "It is monstrous that the poppy should be used in such a way." So I'm quoting from a piece that I found on the Internet Archive. I'll put the link in the description if you want to see more quotes from people at the time getting mad about a video game. So I think these people who got mad missed the on-the-nose humour of the developers. It's obviously black comedy, and I think it actually has quite a strong anti-war message. So in the game, every time one of your men dies, on the loading screen for the next level, there they are with their graveyard and their name, showing that they're not just faceless cannon fodder, they're actual people who had real lives. It's saying how this is what happens to real soldiers in war. They're used as faceless killing machines by politicians and those with an agenda to use them, but they're actually human beings, and it's pointless and it's tragic. It really interests me how this game that is just black comedy was misunderstood by people who missed the subtlety of its humour and missed its message, that it wasn't mocking those who fought in war. It was saying the way we can remember them is by remembering how war is stupid. They shouldn't have died, because humans should have got their shit sorted out before the war, and we shouldn't have used people as killing machines that were just nameless cannon fodder. These were people. So I think it's a good message, because I think definitely here in Australia, and maybe it's similar in Britain, but I think remembrance of the military can sadly turn into nationalistic jingoism, and it becomes almost a religious cult, and you can't question. It really should be about instead recognizing the horror and the tragedy and the stupidity of war, not glorifying murder and killing and death. It should be remembering how this is stupid and we shouldn't do this again. And yet here we are in this year 2023, and Palestine is happening, Ukraine is happening, and humans can't get their shit together, but they should. And I think it's amazing that this game from the early 90s, with just a game about black comedy, could give that message, and yet a lot of people miss the subtlety of it at the time. So the next game I bought, which unintentionally was also about war, I guess, was Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation. And I have less to say about this because I've never played it. Well, I know that the first Metal Gear game was on the MSX, right? Designed by Hideo Kojima, and then it was brought to the NES. That one I played, and that one I read the book on too. Yes, there was a book about it for kids, Metal Gear the book, which I think the writer of it was not allowed to have any violence in a book about a soldier. Agent Justin Halley, aka Solid Snake, a human fighting machine, but we can't show any fighting. Smart, fast, and tough. Mission: attack a heavily guarded terrorist base and destroy the ultimate super weapon, Metal Gear. Yeah, but there's no fighting, I think, from memory. It's been a while since I've read the book. So Metal Gear Solid was released in 1998 for the PlayStation, and I feel it's one of those games that I haven't played that I should play, that should be part of my video game canon of games to play, because it went on to have a lot of sequels, and it's been well talked about, and then Hideo Kojima left Konami, and does Konami even still make games anymore, or are they just making pachinko machines? I haven't really followed them since that. Anyway, now Hideo Kojima makes other games. The guy from Walking Dead, Daryl. And what else do I know about Metal Gear Solid? I know some people were upset when the protagonist Snake's butt was nerfed multiple times. So anyway, the retro video game market at 1989 was a fun day, and so thanks to 1989 for hosting it, and thanks to the people I met there who were friendly and had some good talks about games and other things. Yeah, it was a good day. So thanks for watching, and if you want to see more videos on video games and about related topics, then please subscribe, because yeah, it's hard to believe it's been a year since the last retro video game market, when I said to myself that I'm going to make more videos for this channel, on this time on a regular basis and about a theme. So I have done that. So yeah, if you want to see me do more of that, then subscribe, and I will. Yeah, see you next time.